All right, here we go. The very last town hall meeting of the year. It's town hall meeting number 79 on December 19th, 2023. And today we're joined by Vanessa, William, Guillermo, Cryptomano, Curtis, Love, Sugar and Spice, and Tommy. Thanks all for joining in. And let me admit Onyeka from the waiting room. Yeah, as you can see, it's a pretty simple agenda. It's the very last meeting of the year, and I figured let's keep it relatively simple. First, a couple of mentions, and then I want to discuss a little bit with all of you the town hall structure and how we go about that in the next year. Plenty of feedback has been given here and there, but yeah, we'll get to the topic. And then there's room for some workgroup updates, and then there's room for open topics. But not without starting with a little reminder on what the ambassador program even is and what we're doing, while I admit Walter. Yeah, basically the ambassador program is a space where people like you can help contribute to the mission and vision of the SingularityNet ecosystem. There's a whole bunch of self-organizing work groups on a lot of different topics, and anybody's welcome, broadly speaking. So yeah, if you're interested in helping out, do up onto our Discord server and find the Getting Started channel. You will get started through that. So yeah. Then a quick mention before actually getting started. It's basically on the holiday season. It's going to be 2 weeks off, pretty much. I was pushing for the calendar to be leading, but the calendar is very straightforward. There's just no public meetings, no ambassador meetings for 2 weeks. So very straightforward. If somehow a work group decides they want to have a session, they're free to do so. That will be put on the calendar, but for now it's safe to assume there will be no meetings for 2 weeks. And that means that the first town hall would resume on the 9th of January. And then on the very first calls would be a developer work group on the 8th and education guild also on Monday the 8th. And that covers the mentions, I believe. So unless anybody has something they want to share with the whole group, feel free to, you can. If not, we move on to the first topic I'd like to discuss. Basically, over the past, well, half a year, I would say, broadly speaking, was quite some feedback on the work groups, on the town halls. And yeah, I'm thinking quite some people were feeling like it's very repetitive. And there's always about half of the session is reserved for work group updates. So I wanted to basically have a temperature check if it's yeah, how people think about moving that to monthly updates. And then, well, as you can read on the screen, that would provide more space for actual discussions and interactions outside of just sitting there and listening for half an hour. So yeah, anybody strongly disagree or agree?
For me personally, it's, I only attend maybe 4 initiatives out of 13 that we have. So this is the only chance for me to learn about everything else. So I mean, maybe every other week, but not less often than that would be my preference.
All right. Thanks for sharing. Vanessa, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit weird because I actually quite like the work group updates, but I can see why people maybe find them a bit, I don't know, too much. But would you be thinking of having a monthly or bi-weekly or whatever session where all the work groups give an update, or would we stagger it so that there were some each week? Because I'm sort of thinking that maybe if somebody gave an update and they had a lot to say, they could kind of carry that forward into a discussion. I don't know, it might not work, but if like you get a week where no one's got much to say apart from, well, we're getting on with our work and that's that.
Yeah, fair. Well, first of all, nothing is set in stone. Yeah, we could do as we wish. And also, if we try something for January and it sucks, yeah, we won't do the same for February, of course. Walter, yeah, if you want to react.
Actually, as a request, occasionally updates come up as fairly routine and one needs to have a bit more context. So just as an encouragement, if once in a while, once a month, every 6 weeks, a work group or a guild can give a little bit more of an overview, show 2 slides, something, do more of a here is what we do, here is why, wouldn't you like to be involved, stuff like that,
Yeah, fair. I would imagine if we reserve one of the about 4 monthly town halls for this, like first of all, we wouldn't have to push people like, okay, you've got 2 minutes, otherwise we're running out of the slot. Like there would be a bit more space for people to just explain what they're doing, and also, well, something else that surfaced in feedback is showcasing deliverables. It would also allow for that. Love, you have your hand up.
Yeah, concerning the monthly update suggestion, I feel like bi-weekly would be better because I've thought about it. Some work groups might actually have a lot to say on the particular day that we've kept aside for work group updates, and they might take up so much time. Unless there's some kind of plan to extend the meeting hour, I feel like things will be clashing. We'll have too many things to say with little time. Unless we're just going to be giving updates on that particular day without any other business, just come and start with work group monthly updates. If we're not doing it that way, we'll have to, I feel like we should go for the bi-weekly updates.
Okay. Thank you. Guillermo, please.
Hi, everyone. Okay, good to see you guys for the last time. My first thought was bi-weekly, listening Walter, Vani, and Loeb, and reading Curtis. I think maybe divided half of the work groups 1 week, the other week, the other half. That way we wouldn't extend the time on the town halls. And that would, at the same time, make it bi-weekly. Because we have been learning so much from others' work groups, how to work, and that's the way to standardize and all get to where some groups are leading on governance, how to deal, and so listening to others is always the best way to learn. And as we discussed in incubation yesterday and the last few days, while we have been trying to set Q1 next year standards, myself, I've been learning from Rojo, from Tommy, and from other work groups and guilds on how they have dealt with problems, with how they have organized themselves. So I think that maybe that way, we cover both needs.
Yeah, fair. Thanks a lot. Love, I still see your hand up, but I do believe that's a legacy hand as term jury.
Yeah,
Sorry.
sorry.
No worries. Also welcome, Devo, and seeing your work group lead. We're kind of well, as you can see on the slides, discussing whether the work group updates should be perhaps moving to monthly. So far, there seems a lot of support for bi-weekly. Well, it's something to do. I think it's interesting what you suggest, Guillermo, on having it half of the work groups 1 week and half of the other, and then in that way have it bi-weekly. It does come with a small drawback, being that still every town hall would have a portion reserved for work group updates. And Well, something lately that has been happening, and is something we should prevent in the future, is that we're bumping into the incubation slot, as you're aware. So in a way, I would kind of position the town hall in a way where it can run over, and potentially, like if we would do a monthly setup, as far as I'm concerned, there wouldn't really be a time restriction per work group. Like it would somehow make like it can be half an hour. Then we're having a 6-hour session. That's not gonna work. But yeah, it's interesting. I didn't consider that variety you suggest. Any thoughts by somebody else on this?
On the bi-weekly, I will support because several workshops are bi-weekly what I'm running, so it makes sense. And that's why I'm also sometimes like not in the space because well, don't have much to say because there was no meeting. And switching, I think that can cause a bit of scheduling overhead, but that is something that goes away quite quickly. And maybe it's a good thing for like also a little bit marketing. So if it's like focused on one work group, or like 1-2 work groups instead of all the work groups, it's like less information for new people because new people are joining ambassador program, this town hall first. But other side, having like this holistic view all at once and making like bi-weekly or monthly. Yeah, maybe said like it's like an ecosystem update. So there are like these days, this day in the month where you join to just get the chaos in your face, also say. Because probably that if we would do it monthly, then that is like so much update, so it would probably take entire download just to share every workgroup update.
Yeah, fair. I do think that's accurate, the last point. Guillermo, you have your hand up?
Yeah, just to reinforce Tivos, you have heard me if you have been participating on these town halls. Myself pointing on Rojo's good work, and you, Peter, and Tivo. Occasionally, you guys bring not only a summary, you bring data, you bring a presentation, you make this consistent. And sometimes maybe for other work groups is because the lack of time or for being able to prepare, or maybe there's not enough movement or improvement in just 1 week. It goes so fast. Sometimes we need more time. So I think this also not only will keep always a work group entertaining the audience and giving updates and teaching, and also we give them the at least 2-week amount of time to prepare themselves, not only to come here to explain, okay, we have made this or this or that, to bring something consistent, so to share something solid with the standards that some of the work groups have shown and lead. So I think that will also will be one of the good things to have a bi-weekly at least.
Thank you. Well, to touch on that topic, like I was kind of considering if it would move to monthly, to then reserve the whole session, basically, and not chase people like, you need to be within 1 minute, otherwise we run out of the slot. But then that would be like a full work group updates town hall, kind of.
Yeah, I think actually maybe monthly is best because it does kind of package all that insight into one session, and then we can try different ways of like. I'm right now thinking maybe even onboarding workgroup has like a tag here because it's, hey, you want to get onboarded to town hall every month. This event happens where every workgroup shares a bit. And then that could also be like an onboarding call that if it's your first time, every month of this week, it would be the best time to join town hall. rest of there are going to be news, of course. Well, if you want to like, get the full view of what's happening, then and how to get onboarded and ask questions, this is where every work group is kind of. And it's also easier to then create this rule where we have discussed previously, where do we want ambassadors to join this call and kind of reward them, but making it weekly is like 4 hours every month to join to make sure you're here is maybe too much to ask, but 1 hour per month from ambassadors or work group leads is like doable. And it gives also opportunity to like, plan more ahead. Who's gonna go the next one?
Yeah, fair. In my mind, and I'm not trying to push for monthly by definition, and I'm very happy. Like, there's 12 months, so we can do quite a bit of different setups over the year. I'm not trying to lock in anything. But something that I do feel is missing with the workgroup updates would be it's the whole interaction portion is not there. Like, it's just sending information. So in a way, I feel like maybe there could be some room for like a work group asking questions to the broader ambassador audience or the broader community, or highlighting what they need help with, or some discussion on how they're approaching things. Tommy, you have your hand up.
Yeah, Peter, you just brought up a really good point. I don't know that I recall that we've ever really discussed, and we've discussed many purposes of many different guilds, but what is the community's view on the purpose of what a town hall is for? You know, we sit through deep funding when deep funding goes on, and it's every other week. The focus group has now introduced a listening session so we can take the pulse of the community. We sit here and we kind of, as you say, it's kind of a one-way, you know, regurgitate what we could put in writing. I think of the town hall kind of like a onboarding session for new people in some areas. I think it's a time for us to have cocktails together. On another hand, just before the holidays, like now, we should all be having cocktails. It's for us to share stuff, and also that's been brought up, and I think you know, the accountability of deliverables, KPIs, for each group's efforts should be possibly reported on, so it can be questioned, other than TiVo and Felix sitting in and just going through D-work and putting it on and saying, oh, I got a question about that. And the question doesn't come out for a while. And this way, you know, I can get questioned on my guilds, and Tevo can get questioned on his guilds or workshops, and et cetera, et cetera. So I don't think an hour a week, even though we've been doing it, may be the best format to, if that's what the community agrees to. I don't think an hour every week is the best format to really get into the juice of the drippings off the bone. If we go to bi-weekly, and maybe we go to an hour and a half, and talk to our friends, our new friends in incubation, and say, hey, can we have a staggered thing so we can go a little bit longer and not bump into you? And then maybe we can have 1 week as a conversation, a community conversation, and the other week is reporting. Just throwing it out there. But the real question is, what is the purpose? What is the goal? And what does the community want out of the town hall?
If anybody from the community wants to chime in on there, feel free to. I do see a nice suggestion in chat by Vanessa, having like a monthly cycle. So like week 1 would be work group. This is just an idea, I assume. Week 1 would be work group updates. Week 2 being a conversation on topic X. week 3, new person and like new joiners Q&A. Like, quite like that approach.
Yeah, I do too, Pete. And so 4 weeks of a month, 2 survey, QA, MAA, whatever acronyms you want to use for what we will be doing, and 2 weeks for a divided work group update. So it's not a 4-hour. We do half of the groups on the 3rd week of the month and the other half on the 4th week of the month. Or we can spice them up and do one, as Vani is suggesting. And I think already this discussion is very refreshing. So however we apply it, it will be a good improvement and creative change. I totally support it.
Yeah, nice suggestions popping in chat as well. Noting that there's not always 4 weeks in a month, which is quite accurate. So every quarter there's a 13th week. So yeah, suggestions of guest speaker, interview somebody from SNet Foundation side. I quite like that suggestion. Yeah, good stuff. Okay. So okay, I get the feeling that it would be good for January to start trying out with this, right? Instead of sticking to the current every week include more or less half an hour of workgroup updates. And I would say that's a decent temperature check. Wait, let me actually put it forward. Is there anybody strongly feeling like, nope, the way it is right now, don't change it? Do speak up. Completely valid opinion, of course.
Strong feelings towards this initiative.
Okay. Well, there's something I also put on the slide. Like, from my perspective, the agenda for Town Hall should also be a decentralized process. If there's something during the weekend or during the week, whatever, when you feel like, this could be interesting, we should put this forward to the group. Even if it's something really silly, for sure we can do a 5-minute slot on it. But in general, yeah, that goes for everybody. Please do submit agenda items you feel we should discuss during a town hall. Yeah, go for it, Stefan. Sorry.
I think that's kind of already ingrained that we can provide the agenda. The way I see it, like even if you go to this cycle style, which I think is the best idea, is even then there is like, okay, let's say we have either one, if we like bi-weekly update from work groups, then we still have like this usual time which we usually do for agendas. And if you have a QA session, well, we probably still have a lot of time to do any other agendas. And maybe the QA day might be actually quite fast because it expects you people to ask questions and join. And there isn't always that demand. It's like a wave of cycle, and we haven't really like recorded when or what events bring new people in, so we never know. So,
yeah, fair. Well, since we're on the topic of town hall, something else I'm wondering, should we stick to the 60-minute format? Is that a good time? Because lately we have been running over, and I always feel both bad for incubation running into the slot, and bad for cutting off a conversation at the same time. That being said, any thoughts?
I mean, rather than extending it later, we'd have to start earlier, otherwise we'd be really bumping into incubation, and it's already quite late. So Could we start at 6:30? UTC.
We can do anything we like, of course. Curtis?
No, I just mean, would that be too early for people?
It's my evening, so but yeah, others feel free to speak up. Curtis, you have your hand up.
I'm just thinking that with the proposed path forward, splitting 4 weeks with where essentially the agenda items are finding a home, that seems like it may change the environment. Maybe we won't have the problem of going over it since we're not trying to cram everything into a single town hall. We're actually finding a home for it. So is that still a problem? I mean, do we know? I don't know.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, also noting, again, we don't have to now set for the whole year 2024, like, we're only going to do 1 hour sessions ever. Yeah, we can always change as we go. That being said, I do think it's been mentioned a couple of times now on the incubation slots. Technically speaking, it would be best to not have, well, anything so close after the town hall. But yeah. I did not catch that, sorry.
I don't know. I'm just brain fucked.
All right. Cool. So seems like quite some support for the approach of experimenting with this cycling through different different, what to call it, different topics, I guess. Different need to figure out the word for that. I don't know the word. My English is breaking down. All right. I'll try to put this in words, and then I mean, next town hall is some time away, with 2 weeks of no town hall. So if my resume of this in text is very incorrect, please do reply to it. And cool. Quick check. Any further thoughts on this before we move on to the workgroup update? Right. Yeah, looking at the clock, we've got about 25 minutes remaining, but I do want to give the space for pretty much every work group, well, to give their final update of the year, basically. That's what it is. And well, as you can see on the screen, starting off with incubation, think tank. Not entirely sure who right now I should give the turn.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure that out ourselves, but it sounds like Walter might be interested in doing that moving forward. For this past week or two, I don't know if Guillermo has the most insight into that or not. I'm not volunteering anybody. I'm just sharing an update.
Yeah, I think let's resume it to one word. We have moved forward. Any of the free incubation guild members that are here on the call can do it. They can do it well. The good thing is we have resolved on the Q4 distribution. The decision was consent between all the members, and I think approved by leader members of the community. Of course, there were point down issues, things to correct, to revision, transparency, time, tasks, and a lot of things we need to improve as a team. And rewards have been dispersed first thing this morning by Treasury, and I think we have a very let's say, mature conversation and nutritive discussion on the things we will set as objectives and goals of the guild for the guild in the first quarter of next year. So we hope to bring to the ambassadors a lot of solution and a lot of improvement. And I think that would do it on my side. If Walter or Curtis want to jump and mention something I'm missing, please.
Great, thank you, Guillermo.
All right, thanks a lot. Let me take the opportunity then to throw a little shout out to Fly. Basically, as you heard by Guillermo, there's a little bit of restructuring happening in the incubation guild due to Fly having to step back. And yeah, so big shout out there. Did a great job of leading the incubation guild for long. I don't have the exact amount of, I think, a year. So yeah, thanks a lot. Moving on, next on the list would be the archival work group. And Vanessa, can I ask you to give a little update?
Yeah, I mean, we took the sensible decision to have our final meeting last meeting. So we haven't been meeting, but we've been working asynchronously. A lot of testing of the tool, the meeting summaries tool is going on. And the endeavor that I have in mind by the end of the Christmas break is to do a big update of the ambassador's Git book. So yeah, I hope to get that done, and I might be in the new year coming to people and going, oh yeah, what do you want to say about this or that in your work group? But that's about where we are. Cheers.
Yes. Thanks a lot. Then next is the dwork BBL work group. Safo?
Yeah, for maybe I take two at once. Both dwork and Treasury Guild have had their sessions, and they start again next month. And how more information will be on the first town hall, probably. The fastest way to get information. Right now, I think, and on dwork side, there will be some asynchronous activity regarding launching the test or beta run to get dwork credentials to know that it's very close done. But there are some technical errors right now at the platform, so that's why it's slightly postponed. Not sure did I put up the meeting summary, because I'm sure that I'm on Treasury Guild side, I haven't done it yet. And there is also another asynchronous activity that will be shared, hopefully this week, about the proposal. There is actually a question, although I don't know if we have time for this, but I'm just throwing it out here. Should dwork PBL workgroup have a proposal? Because it's so close to getting done, but it's still not there yet. So it's like, if it goes into Q1, it requires to create a proposal for 1 or 2 months of extra work that is already predefined. Everything is kind of set. It's just that will be, yeah, like extra overhead to kind of write the proposal. And then, yeah, on the Treasury Guild side, yeah, that's I just mentioned. And that's it.
Thanks a lot. That's a good question. I would say if you're pretty much continuing the work of the previous proposal, I would say not a new proposal. I wouldn't say that's needed.
Because by the rules, theoretically, our funds which we release go to reserve, so I basically have no budget on Q1 anymore. So that's why I'm like, do I need proposal to kind of say that, well, there are still these town hall presentations to be done and running people through the course itself and facilitating and helping them.
Well, then maybe the budget proposal for Q1 could be to extend the unused. I mean, I assume that the Q4 budget also still has unused funds for this. I'm not sure if that's correct.
We haven't decided on Q1 budgets. But yeah, that's the situation.
Okay. I think we mostly need to be practical. Also noting, and that's completely out of scope for what we're currently having on the agenda, but I just realized today, like, we had a lot of learnings on Q4 budget discussion, and that we should really start the Q1 budget discussions early. It's the 19th of the month, and we're winding down for holiday season.
Well, in a positive note, it's all sold if everybody's ready with Q1 proposal at the first usually good call. But of course, there will be a lot of discussions. But I'm positive in a sense that we are now quite experienced and know what we are doing and how to kind of ask budget and kind of expect that results.
Yeah, true. I mean, the Q4 budget itself is a pretty solid baseline, I would feel, for Q1 budgets. So yeah, but we definitely well, we did spend a lot of time on it, but not in vain.
He's down there looking for you.
Oh, no, I already
I'm
did
gonna mute
him.
you for a second there. I don't think that's intended for us. All right. I need to unmute you though, because strategy work group is the next one. Let's give a second or two. Okay, maybe just I'm not sure, Tommy. Tommy, are you more or less available?
Yes, I'm available. We just had a airport guest come in, so okay, I'll talk to you in a minute. I'm online. Just got in from the airport. I'm going to do strategy and education at once because I have a visitor. So strategy had its last meeting and is looking at still looking at roundtable and the edits that have suddenly gone on it, which I thank everybody in the community for. Fantastic. And we're also looking at doing some mediation work. And we've had a great, it's 6.5 months that strategy and incubation has been operating. And we've had a great year. And thank you, everybody, for as the singer said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Education, we are still working, and I question after what I heard today if we're doing away with the ambassador role, is what I heard. So we've been working on ambassador certification program, which might be a moot point if we do away with ambassadors. So we have videos done. We have some infographics done. And if any of you still have your infographics almost done, get them in so you can get paid for it this year before the budget expires, whatever's going on there. And we'll see you all next year. And I hope everybody has a healthy, happy, safe, and enjoyable holiday season, whatever you celebrate. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for that update. And feel free to spend the rest of your day with guests. Thanks a lot. Cool. That's this slide done. There's a couple more work groups now. Some got covered already, so we will be able to go over it relatively quickly. Starting off with onboarding. And we have Sugar in the room. Yes, we do.
Hello, everybody.
Love.
Sorry, I'm the one to speak for onboarding work group. First and foremost, I would like to thank each and every one of you for taking out time to fill in our onboarding survey form. Thank you very much. So we got back some insights, and it's in a doc. I would like to share it here. Yeah, Vanessa has helped me do it. Thank you, Van. So the insights we got, I'm just going to give the summary. The first one is SNET ambassador program is different from other ambassador programs out there. That's most of what we got from the replies. They said that the way we do things over here is quite different. So we thought that if that's how it is, we need to start telling people how exactly things are being run here, because from the other ambassador programs, there's a certain structure, everything is just rigid and not flexible. So that was the first point of issue for some people. Then secondly, they said the onboarding takes time, not that it's a bad thing. Some people took 2 months to feel fully onboarded. Some people just about a week, some about a month. The third one is please hold on a second. Okay, some people said they were not clear on how work groups worked. They said that they didn't know which particular work group fits what their skills. So they were like saying that maybe we should come up with some kind of skill assessment, or maybe be clear about what each work group does. Let's say, for example, if you are in the onboarding work group, you're supposed to write some kind of how will I put it, an overview of what exactly you guys do there and what exactly a new member can learn from you people. That's the third analysis that we got. So we're just thinking maybe each work groups that we've met can come up with something that would tell you new members and old members what exactly they do in their work group, so that as we are joining, we don't have to start asking so much questions. We won't get confused. Everything can just be clear. So that's the third analysis that we got. Then the third one, most people said that they felt fully onboarded when they were given tags, when they were recognized, when they were, how will I put it? When they were given, even if it's some kind of introduction tags in the work group, and then you make them, that's how they felt onboarded. So the point is that we need to start creating some kind of tags or some kind of ritual, not necessarily ritual, that's when new members come into the work group and they do it with other people, they could actually feel and maybe understand that with the way this work works, I can do what they do, I can work with them, I can contribute, and my efforts will be recognized. So the remaining 3 insights, I'll leave that to Vani to take over, because she's the best person to explain it.
All right. Yeah, so as Love was saying, what emerged in that survey, which I thought was really interesting, is how central work groups are in this continuous onboarding process. We found that in the survey, some people wanted a more fixed process to become an ambassador, with a hierarchy and ranks and structures and formal progression, but not everybody wanted that. Some people kind of preferred it a bit fuzzy and a bit contextual, and there was even a view that maybe the ambassador role shouldn't even exist at all in future, which, as Tommy was saying earlier, might be the way we're going. But it just feels like, from reading the responses, maybe rather than focusing on ambassadorship, perhaps we need to focus on work groups. But the 6th insight that we got was whatever process we finally agree on, we need to explain it, and we need to keep explaining it. We can't assume that people are going to get it the first time, because as we've said, this ambassador program is different from a lot of others. And we just need to make sure that whoever decides you're an ambassador and however they decide, that needs to be transparent. And the other thing that came out is we need to make the background information accessible too. Like, we shouldn't assume that newcomers already know loads about SNet. We shouldn't use all acronyms and initialisms. We should make it easy for people. And the last point that came out was that we just need to be a bit more conscious of the barriers that people face and think how to overcome them. Language barriers and shyness were 2 that were mentioned specifically, but almost certainly there are others too. But yeah, the document that we've shared in the chat, it's not meant to be like a final analysis, so we'd really love it if people would hop in, have a read and make any comments. You'll see a link in there to the results of the survey itself, and you can add your own insights. So thanks a lot for that, and thanks to everybody who took part and answered the survey.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for that. And for
Just before you go on, we just wanted to share what are the reports. I will just share the documents and the charts for everyone to have a look.
it is there. I think.
Look,
Not sure if it's.
can you hear me?
No, it's a different one, Peter.
Okay, cool.
It's our quarterly report.
Got it. Awesome. Yeah, and great initiative for doing a program-wide analysis of the onboarding of different work groups. Lots of, well, best practices to share mostly. Cool. Well, then next is the AI sandbox. What do we do there? Should I put somebody on the spot? Skip it? I think skipping for now. I see some gestures in the... All right. That does make me wonder, is that session taking place this week? On Thursday?
Okay, so I'm going to jump in. It is part of the incubation guild. I'm going to do it fast because they're going to step on that time slot. And one of the suggestions is to reduce it to one work group meeting of the week and include sandbox at the strategy for the months. So still something we need to work on. Walter, if you want to add something to that.
I'm sorry, what's the question? Verma, what's the question?
What about the sandbox? As it is in the incubation guild, I mentioned that we are discussing into limiting our work groups meetings for one a week and use the time better with results. The same we're doing with the ambassador town.
Okay, so the idea was to free up the town hall schedule to run as long as it naturally needs to indeed also because we haven't been able to staff AI sandbox for some time now. So we're down to one meeting a week, and I have offered to use the slot on Thursday just because it's been known to already schedule, but we're rerunning lattice on that. But Peter, I think we can commit to free up your, you don't have to change your style in order to run the town hall as long as you need to.
Amazing. Then again, going to our earlier discussion, the style will change a lot. But yeah, I get what you mean. Okay. So for full clarity for those in the current call, is that effective this week, and will we have done the incubation session this Thursday, or do we still have that today? I'm not 100% sure. Today, I think I see if I can lip read. Cool. All right. So for this week on Thursday, it will not be taking place. Okay. Then I will remove it from the Thursday slot, just so that everybody's on the same page. Only that event. Cool. All right. Well, then the time pressure is on. Since looking at the clock, we've got 18 more minutes before that slot. No, that should be all good. Cool. Then moving on to the marketing guild. I don't think Judith is here, if I'm correct. Basically, last week's call was a call between me and Judith. There were no other joiners, and I do think the summary of it. I think I saw it posted earlier, but I'm not sure if that was. It was a very casual call, and not much happened there. I think that today I saw a summary posted, but that was of last like December 8th. That has the most recent. So yeah, it's also not taking place this week. What is, however, taking place would be the video work group. And is there somebody in the room that can mention a little bit what's going on there? Because I don't see Rojo, and I didn't attend last session myself. Might be one to refer to the meeting summaries channel as well. Cool. That brings us to the writers work group with Kenichi. Could you give us a short update? Are you with us, Kenichi?
Yes,
Ah.
yeah.
Would you mind sharing a bit about the writers work group?
Definitely. Let's get right into it. So yeah, I'll actually like to start with the notes of the marketing guild. So Julie reached out to me on the updates for the Zili, and I think that's actually almost done. So just like I mentioned on the last call we had about it, it's just waiting for the bots to be added so we can do the first test run. So it's all good so far. So yeah, just on that. And for the writers work group, our update is pretty much short actually. We actually decided that we are still using the kind of like a bit of the point system to assign contributions and to like make note of contributions that technically can't always be recorded with the work. So basically for contributions, collaborations, and helping out any other work group member and providing updates, activities in the chat channels to like award kind of like points. Been kind of like recorded as much as I can, and hopefully this is our first test run actually. So hopefully by the end of or like the beginning of next quarter, like January and all, we can fish out all these points and see if we want to keep it or not. Our other updates would be currently we have published 7 articles on our Medium page, and officially actually have our story stats now on a monthly basis. I think it's a new update, but also we've actually qualified enough to for our KPIs to apply for the Medium premium version of Medium, so we can have publications and add writers officially to our sessions. So yes, since our initial incubation and all, and since we started, we've had our first month started with 41 views that was made. We had a total of 41 views and 19 reads. In June we had 92 views. July we had 125, and our past few months have actually been really good. From August we've had 320. September 320, October 350, November our current highest 663, and December we are currently on 400 views and 208 reads, which is our current update. So we're going to be making a slideshow for it at the end of this month, so we can show the KPIs and show how we manage to surpass our numbers actually. And yeah, so we're currently working on our kind of like KPIs and estimates for what we want to achieve and numbers we're looking forward to for the next quarter. And that's pretty much it for me. We still have a couple of articles coming out this month, and we are currently releasing threads on ecosystem recap, technically. So each month, we started today with January. So for each day for the next 6 days, we're going to be posting about each month. Then we'll take the Christmas break, and the next 6 days after that, before New Year's, we're going to be posting another thread on all the updates within the ambassador, the SingularityNet ecosystem. And in January, we'll be doing the same thread with those 6 days ago. We do the same thread for the ambassador program. That would entail all articles or all videos or everything that each work group individual that we're doing for the entire since each one's incubation account from the entire year. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. And please, everybody, don't forget to add some claps on Medium. Cool. That brings us to the Gamers Guild. I'm not sure. Do we have a representative in the house today? I did get a request. They will be having the honor of hosting the very last ambassador program session of the year this Sunday at Saturday, sorry, at 14 UTC. Let's see. Then there's knowledge-based work group. I'm not sure, Tavo, if you have anything to share there.
Yeah, knowledge base is kind of done also this month. Continues next week. Pretty good progress. I'm very happy how it has gone. And we completed the full cycle of all the activities we assume we will conduct in the work group itself. The proposal is practically done. We have all the information. I haven't put everything in proposal yet, but it's on. If it exists on Miro board, the roadmap and details. And yeah, looking forward for next year to complete improve the ambassador page with the insight we have gathered so far and the assets everybody else has been grading on this program. So well done on that side.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Yeah, then there's two more on the list. I know for developers work group, they're also on holidays schedule. Also, I think I can say they're still looking for more people to join in. So that will resume only after the holiday break. And education was covered already earlier by Hadolf. So that does bring us to the end of the workgroup update. And also looking at the clock pretty much to the end of this town hall. I did reserve a little space for open topics, but also looking at the clock, that would be very short topics, preferably. If anybody has something to, they want to share with the group, feel free to. But do kind of keep it short if possible.
Actually, the onboarding workgroup just shared their Q4 report. When is that expected, and is it from all workgroups? Because I don't think I did it for Q4.
Yeah, yes, and question mark on the when side of things. Yeah, to resolve that question mark, I think I will have to refer to DM from me to all workgroup leads. Taking a little note.
And is there a new template? Because the one I had, oh no, it's just that they had subtitles. I wonder, has it changed the structure? Because it looks different, it has a lot more content, but maybe it's just because onboarding has great writers and they squeeze out every detail.
I haven't clicked it yet because I'm sharing a browser screen, so I don't really know, to be honest. But Fanny, did you change anything to the format? Or should
Sorry, did I change anything to what?
to the quarterly report format?
What, of the onboarding group? No.
Okay. Oh, cool.
We added a few things. We added a couple of sections, but other than that, no.
Okay, then maybe that's what's we're seeing. Cool.
Like, is this couple of sections expected from all workgroups and groups?
Oh
like
God,
from...
no, we're not
Okay.
thinking any bit. I think everybody does it their own way, right?
No, I used the template you
Oh,
shared.
Oh God. Well, no, that template that came from Archives Group, and then onboarding adapted it, so you can adapt it for what suits. I think we've just had a lot to say in onboarding this quarter. That's all.
All right, nice. Yeah, then I guess without anybody stepping up, raising hands, or shouting, it would be time to conclude the session. And with that,
I was just thinking, Peter, there's a new person in the house. I've forgotten his name, but he was posting Crypto Mano a Mano. I don't know if you want to say hi, because we've got like newcomer introductions, haven't we?
very true, yes. Not to put you on the spot, but you can.
Yeah, I just wondered if you wanted a moment to say hello.
Hello, thanks for your comments. I don't know. I'm in French in France. My English is not the best, but could I understand that your proposals and your schedules, and I hope to apport to offer my knowledge in many ways, like a content creator and like a manager projects too. And I'm so interested in your work.
Awesome. Well, great to have you on. Just a quick check would be to like, have you spotted on Discord the Getting Started channel?
Sorry?
Did you manage on I assume you're on Discord, but I'm not even sure if you are. Are you on our Discord server?
No. For the moment, I'm not in Discord. I think so.
Okay. No worries, but that would be a great first step on figuring out a bit more information. I'll put it in chat. Yeah, that Discord server has a Getting Started channel, so that's really a solid place for getting started. And also, Guillermo, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I just want to tell you something. I don't know if it's the universe lining up, but I think it's something that I put this shirt on, and it wasn't just for you, Peter, but it was 1 year we were celebrating around in this country. A year has passed, and myself, I have something to celebrate, and it's this community. And at the end of the year, and it has been a great experience, experiment, and learning. So thank you, Peter. Thank you, Thibaut, Bunny, William, Sukru, and all you guys involved for making this so interesting and precious. Hope you guys get drunk safely at home or not. Yeah, let's share some pictures on the Discord. Welcome, Crypto Mano a Mano. Merci beaucoup for that great finale. And yeah, we have 3 more minutes. I'm really thankful, Pete, Thibaut, for your work. And yeah, let's keep rolling.
Guillermo, thank you for that very much. I'd like to shine the spotlight on Peter, who's been our valiant leader, whose patience and good cheer and patience with many of us, but particularly with me, has been nothing short of amazing, and an example to me at the minimum. So thank you very much. Keep at it. And also, I think it's been an interesting experience for many of us. This new beginning is a chance to improve on what's been working and expand beyond that. So yeah, please have fun and see you all next year.
Thanks a lot for those words. And let me also extend that thanks to each and every single one of you. Not only in the call, also watching or just randomly part of the program. However small your contribution, everything counts. And yeah, we're doing it together. That's the whole thing. So yeah, much what else to say? Just thanks, very much. And
I have a question for Crypto Mana. How did you find about this town hall without joining Discord first? What was the channel?
I was in Discord, but the last time I had a lot of problems with my PC, then I have a new one, and I'm trying to be more active on the social networks like Discord.
awesome. Well, hope to maybe see you back on Discord then, because yeah, pretty much everything we do is coordinated on Discord. But great to have you in the call. And yeah, with that, looking at the clock, we are making it on time. So I think it's time to wrap.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, let me just conclude with wishing you all the best of holidays and happy celebrations with family.